You're listening to Tech Chat with Samantha, the podcast for CEOs and business owners who want to simplify, systematize, and scale without breaking. I'm your host, Samantha Pointer, certified automation service provider and owner of Samantha Pointer Enterprises. After going through my own seasons of crisis and survival, I learned that automation isn't optional, it's essential. Every week in just 15 minutes, more or less, I'll bring you stories, strategies, and practical steps to help you turn tech into your hardest working employee and build a business that runs without you. Let's dive in. Hey everybody, thanks for joining me again for another Tech Chat with Samantha. Today I have Ashley from Systems Over Stress. She's going to share with us about all the things about Airtable, the goodness, kind of like how it's better than Notion and ClickUp and all those things we like to cobble together. So I'm excited to have her on the podcast today and to talk about those things. So yeah, Ashley, tell us a little bit about you and let's just hop right in. I'm just going to give you some questions and we'll go
Awesome.
from there.
Well, I'm so excited to be here. Yeah, my name is Ashley, and my business is called Systems Over Stress, and I take that very seriously in my personal life and my business life. Like, if I'm stressed out, Samantha, I know you follow the same
Yes.
same belief. Is like if I'm stressed, there's just a systems issue. Like my
Yes.
countertops were really messy recently, and I was like, why am I like this? It's like there's just a system. You just need to get a brush for the top. I'm like, wow, like my life
Yes.
has changed. So like
I'm a
everything about
powler
my
too.
life. Yes, is like so systems oriented, and I've really found that is just how my brain works. As I was a solopreneur, like I was doing VIP days, and I had a group program. Like things were just falling through the cracks as like I got bigger, or as like I also have ADHD and depression, and like things just like I couldn't do the normal things that other business owners could do. And so when I was
Right.
like, okay, how do I create systems to help me? That's when I discovered Airtable, and Airtable really is just the number one software that all of my like systems are really built from. We'll get into kind of like the toe to toe of the different types of
Right.
software and tech you can use, but really what I found is Airtable specifically. Anytime I had an idea to make my business better or easier, because I managed all my business inside of Airtable for client management and just everything, it's just easy to a foundation to build upon. And so that's what I do is I teach client management specific systems, client tracking, automated client results, onboarding, offboarding, all of that through Airtable for coaches, service providers, and agency owners.
Cool. Well, I came across you working with another marketing person, Kronda, and that's how I was introduced into your ecosystem of Systems Over Stress. And I've just seen the magic of Airtable and all you could do. Like it literally like blew my mind. So that's why I was excited to get you on the podcast to share with us. So I know a lot of business owners, they feel like they're drowning in a ton of tools and everything. And still not getting results. So why do you think so many systems actually create stress instead of removing it?
I honestly think it's because they're just not using the right tool for the job. And so a
Mm-hmm.
lot of us, like if you go onto ClickUp's website, they'll say like the one tool to replace them all. Dubsado says that too. And I'm like, what are you like you're doing a great job at convincing people that people need this, but then what they're
Right.
trying to do is like make a like cut like they're trying to cut a carrot with a butter knife. Like it's not going to work. Like
Right.
it can work. That was some
Right.
on the Zapier blog. That's how someone described Airtable once, and that's always stuck with me. It's like you can cut a carrot with a butter knife, but it's not the best tool. If you had a sharper knife, if you had the right tool, everything would just be easier. So that's really what I
Right.
see often is people are trying so hard to make ClickUp work for them, or to make Dubsado their thing, or Notion, or a spreadsheet, and they're doing the best that they can, but it's just not the right tool. And
Mm-hmm.
Airtable, unfortunately, doesn't really care about they're not marketing to
Right.
small solopreneurs, coaches, service providers, people with VIP days. They don't know really about us, or at least not making solutions for us. So I
Right.
have found, I was like, you guys, like this is actually the tool. It's this. So it's just me like yelling that Airtable is the right thing when ClickUp has millions of dollars in their marketing, telling
Right.
people that that's the thing. Like that's why people are so stressed out, is because they're told in their soul that this is the right tool, and then they think it's their fault that they can't figure it out when it's just
Right.
not the right tool to grow with them.
Right. Okay. I know when I first started using Airtable, I actually was overwhelmed because I was like, okay. And I set it down for a long time. And then I came back to it once I knew what to do with it. So what do you say for those people who are like skeptical about using a new tool? Like, oh, is this just another thing? How would you describe Airtable to someone who's never heard it before or anything like that?
Yeah, I kind of think about it, and I know this is probably the bad metaphor because this isn't necessarily what hermit crabs do, but I'm like, imagine like you're like going into like you're moving into a shell or a home that has plenty of room for you to expand. And like I think about like if you were, let's say you had a house and it was like a cute 2 bedroom, but you knew in like all your like your grandma and everybody's about to move into the house, like you want to make sure that if you don't have the right house, like you're gonna have to move, and that's really time consuming. It's expensive, it's annoying, and like you're just like, damn, I wish I spent the extra time getting that bigger house so I could grow into it. And that's really what
Right.
Airtable is like you can grow. I have never met somebody who, like, I work with $1 million coaches and like people with 5-figure like agency. Like it's just like they do so many things with Airtable, and a lot of them are
Mm-hmm.
moving ClickUp and out of Notion and out of spreadsheets because they're like, I've hit the limit here. Like there's too much
Mm-hmm.
manual work. We can't automate this. We can't do that. There's too many things slipping through the cracks. And if we were just an Airtable to start, it could grow with us. And so what's really cool about Airtable is you can really start with it as a glorified spreadsheet. Absolutely. You
Yeah.
look at it, it can look like a Google sheet, and you can see, all
Mm-hmm.
right, here's the thing that's causing, like, I'm going to move this one spreadsheet that I'm managing my clients in into Airtable. And you're like, is it really that different? Right. At the beginning, it might not seem that different, but then a couple clients in, you start to see, oh, I can link a form. I can do all, like, you start to see the power of it. And so that's typically when
Right.
people, they're like, want to do all of the stuff. And then they get overwhelmed and do
Mm-hmm.
none of this stuff and then run back to their spreadsheets. And so I think those are the two things. Is one, to remember that you like are in a software that can grow with you. So even if you're
Mm-hmm.
just starting super small, that's totally fine. It's preferable to start small so you don't get overwhelmed. You start with one system that's causing the most stress in your business, and then you just kind of continue to add on.
So you talk a lot about systems that are neurodivergent friendly and practical. How does Airtable support that approach? Because I
Yeah,
love
so
that about you, because I think a lot more people like that will really help.
yeah, and a lot of the times with not necessarily like ClickUp or Dubsado, but some of those other client management systems that are industry specific. So there's like
Mm-hmm.
some that might be like, they're like, oh, we're an all-in-one client management system, but and we've thought of everything for you. But
Right.
everybody's businesses are unique, like what you want to
Mm-hmm.
add, and you keep really think, well, I want to ask them, I want to send them this type of form, or I want them to do this, or I want to do that. There's so much customization that you can do that you will hit a wall in some of those other like plug and play CRM platforms. And with
Mm-hmm.
Airtable, it is incredibly flexible. So you can say, I have this dream for how I want my client experience to go, and you can build it in Airtable. And as someone who is neurodivergent and you're like, I want it to do this thing, and you're going to tell
Yeah.
me no, like that is something that like, I'm like, no, like I want it to work like that though. And so it's so flexible for what you need your offer to look like, but then
Mm-hmm.
also for how you need to see data. So I remember I also manage my content in Airtable too. And before that, I would
Mm-hmm.
used to use like a Google spreadsheet, and I'd
Right.
have, sometimes I'd want to see it as a list. So I'd have one
Mm-hmm.
tab that had all of the rows. And then the other times I would want to like lay it out as a calendar. And I would
Right.
like stretch the cells to make it look like a very cute calendar. But if I want to change a date on that one, then now my spreadsheet with all the rows is out of date. And it's
Oh,
like all of
yeah.
that is not, and like that, where is the source of truth? Which one is the right one? Especially as you're growing a team, it's really hard to keep all that in line, especially with a neurodivergent brain. And with Airtable, you can have different views for the same data. So you can click, I want to see it as a grid, or I want to see it as a calendar, or I want to see it as a Kanban like Trello view. However you want to see the data works.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really helpful. So I just found like there's like some, another thing, I'll get such on a tangent with this, but with spreadsheets, the fields are so open. You could put, even
Right.
have an email field that then
Mm-hmm.
46 fields down, you started putting phone numbers in it. Why do people do that? I don't
Right.
know, but it happens all the damn time. It's like you used to put first names here, and now there's emails. Like
Because
what
they
happened to the
forgot at
process?
the very top the header.
Exactly. And so in Airtable, like there's field types. So it gives you structure. And I think that structure actually really is so helpful for neurodivergent brains. It's like, I don't want to recreate the wheel each time. I just need to know, go in. I need to see what I'm supposed to look at. I need to see the client support tickets that I have, and then I need to get out once I'm done. And so being able to create those views that just show you the data that you need to see when you need to see it is really helpful for neurodivergent brains.
Okay. Well, yeah, wow. It's just so much. I mean, I'm a solopreneur and I like the fact that you can grow into it, and you should be thinking, even if you never want a team, that you might need a team somewhere down the road. And it's best to, set the foundation up first before you get the tool that you can grow into, instead of outgrowing a tool and then have to do a mass migration into something that can be time consuming, especially if you do launches and things like that. Like that could just go left really, really quick.
Yeah, and especially as a solopreneur, when I didn't have the money to hire an assistant, like Airtable was my assistant. Like Airtable would send out the reminder emails if a client didn't fill out their onboarding form, right? I would send them the re-sign email 30 days before they, had to they're retiring from the program. That stuff that I could automate with Airtable bought me months of time where I could continue to be a solopreneur without like having to worry. Like I didn't have to add more hours as like the founder, because I was like, I need to get more clients, because like I'm not making the revenue I need to make. So there's no way I can hire. I can't I like if I only have 3 hours a day or however many hours I had, like I didn't want to spend it on the admin stuff. I needed to spend it selling and like figuring out my messaging and like getting an Instagram post out, like all of that stuff. And so that's really helpful too, even if you are a solopreneur, especially if you're a solopreneur. Having something like Airtable as your like automated client hub assistant is really helpful.
So let's talk. What are some more common mistakes that you see people do when they're trying to organize the client work and internal processes? And then off that, what are some neat things you can do with Airtable, like that you keep track of in your business or some of your clients, that people might not even think about, that you can do that too, not just business related, but even personal related?
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake that I see, and I was actually just on a VIP day with someone who's had my client hub for years, they forget that like they can treat Airtable, like Airtable can do it all. Like, so for example, she has one-on-one clients. So those one-on-one clients have one-on-one calls. She already had a client hub. She had a list of all of her clients in there, their start date, their end date, their status, all of that. And I was like, okay, well, where are their client call notes? Like, how many calls have you had with them? She's like, oh, I keep track of that in Calendly. Like, no, you bring that into Airtable too. You bring every part of the client experience into Airtable so you can track it. So we set up an automation. So every time there's a Calendly call, it gets added to her client hub. So when she's on a call, she can open that up and she can see, oh, we've had 10 calls. You have 20 calls in your package. So we're halfway through. Here's all of our past notes from our calls. Like, here's the link for the next one. And then she can take her notes inside of Airtable. And when she's done, she can just say, like, she can like finesse the follow-up like email notes, and she can click send follow-up email in Airtable, and it's going to send that through Gmail or Outlook, and then it will update to call notes sent. So that process is like, that's the type of stuff you can do in Airtable, where everything is housed in one spot. So we have that, and then we have like their onboarding form, so you can see, okay, you started, she has a job search company. So like the results are get a higher paying job. It's like, all right, you started with a $150,000 job. You just got $175,000 salary. That difference is $25K. So you have those like detailed results that you're tracking for each client. But then when you have all that data in one spot, that's one of the things people don't really realize you can do, is you get to zoom out and say, of my 14 clients in this offer, 13 have gotten higher paying jobs. The average salary increase has been $47,000. Like that type of like high level data and results you can get.
Yes.
People don't know that that's possible because they're just so in the weeds of like, I'm just trying to like get through delivering to these clients, but I promise them to deliver. And so once you're out of that kind of like fight or flight or just like grind mode, you're like, yeah, am I getting results? Like, is this working? Is this getting what like I'm promising my clients? And so you can do that type of stuff in Airtable too. You can look at the data and a macro trend, which I think that's something that's really cool that people don't realize.
Yeah, that is key, and especially as a business owner, if you want to make informed decisions, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, data
What type of personal
go ahead.
Do you use it for personal? Can you do personal stuff in Airtable? Would you even recommend that?
Yeah, I've used it for so many things. I planned my wedding using Airtable. The wedding did not The marriage didn't last, but the wedding was great.
At least it was organized.
Yeah, it was organized. It was a highly organized event. So I planned events there. I've used it as like a journal tool. So you can kind of have daily logs where you can just like, what's nice about Airtable is once you start to use it, you can really see. So many of my clients are like, well, what else can I use this for? And they're like, they're using like Notion for note taking, but they're like, I think I could actually do this in Airtable too. So they start to simplify their tech stack because Airtable can do so much. And so I use it for project management as well. So I'm out of ClickUp or Asana and use it for, it's more simple than ClickUp for sure for project management, but that's all I need sometimes. And I use it for like my personal planning too. So like, what doctor's appointments do I need to go to? And like, when's like a personal CRM of like, who are my friends' birthdays? And like, you need to go follow up with this person. Like all of that type of stuff that keeps me like, I want to be a good person and friend and family member. And like using those types of systems can really help with that too.
Okay. Well, I know you have a master class that's coming up very soon. So I want you to talk about that and what people can learn. It's free. And I will have in the show notes how to join. But yeah, just talk about it for us.
Yes. So the masterclass is called Double Your Client Roster, Work Less Hours, and Get Your Clients Better Results Using Systems and Automations. So really, I believe like with the right systems, your offers can get better as they get bigger. And so if you think you can be booked out for clients, what would your life look like if you could even have 6 to 8 at a time? And it can be so much more money, so much more impact, just so good for you and your audience. And so we're going to talk about that and how Airtable specifically can help with that. So lots of screenshots of behind the scenes of what Airtable looks like. My clients, both from a coaching business and a service provider, like how they can really, you can see how Airtable actually works for you. And then we'll be, once that masterclass is done, I'm opening the doors to Systems Over Stress, which is my 12-month group program. And that really, we help you set up these systems. So once you're like, hell yeah, I need these systems, we help you through that. You get all of our templates. A free 3-hour VIP day. We just like have all of the tools that you need to help you actually set this up and customize it for you and your unique business. So that'll be open as well.
And you definitely want to get in on that when it opens, because you only open that twice a year, right? Or
yeah, we have like special launch bonuses. People can slide in, but we do this free. Like the VIP days are normally like $600 to $700, and right now they're a free 3-hour one if you join the 6th. And so you want that. You can use that at any time, whether you're like totally afraid of technology and don't want to set up the basics yourself. We can help you get over that. Like we'll upload the template for you. Or if you are a little more techie and you can set up the basics and you're like, okay, I want to customize it. Let me ask Ashley and her team like how I can customize it. Then we can use the 3 hours then too. So that's an incredible bonus during our live launches that we don't do outside of it.
Well, thank you for sharing all the Airtable goodness. Is there anything else you want to share with us? Is there a question I didn't ask you that you want to expound on?
No, I think really just the biggest thing is like I said, my company is called Systems Over Stress. Any of the stress in your business is related to clients or like not having enough clients or having too many clients, or where in your client delivery process, from the leads to the sales call to the delivery to the offboarding, where are things slipping through the cracks? Where are things stressing you out? There is a system that can solve for it. I figured out the system and it's inside of Airtable. And I just don't want you to, there's so many other stressful things going on in the world right now. Your business shouldn't be one of them. And we can just eliminate a lot of your stress in just like a single sitting. So it's like, there is a solution for you out there. You can always slide into my DMs. I'm at Systems Over Stress on Instagram. So if you made it to this far, DM me and let me know. And I'd love to talk to you and see how we can help.
Okay. So you heard her. Slide into those DMs over there on Instagram, and I will have all her handles down, her website, all the links, all the goodness down in the show notes. I want to thank you again for joining me. I will be joining the masterclass, so I would hope to see y'all there too. But if you are catching this after her masterclass, definitely jump into Systems Over Stress 12-month. You said 12-month program. Definitely jump into that. I've seen it firsthand how that helps business owners. I've seen it with my own clients. In the inner workings, Ashley's team does an amazing job getting even the business owner who isn't tax savvy up to speed. And it's so important to not be the bottleneck in your business and get caught up in all the tech stuff and let that hold you back from making more revenue in your business. So yeah, thank you again for joining me. This is another great episode of Tech Chat. And find everything you need if you want to reach out to me, because I'm a systems person and I help make sure all your stuff talks and automate the tedious. So you can find me at organizingguru.com, and all my handles, of course, are always in the show notes. Thank you again. Thank you. I know this is big launch time and you took time out of your schedule to join me. So thank you. Thank you again. You're my favorite systems person and Airtable guru for sure.
Thank you so much. It's so great to be here.
See y'all. That's it for today's Tech Chat with Samantha. If you're ready to stop being the bottleneck and finally get your systems working for you, grab the Tech Audit Starter Kit or book a technology breakthrough session at organizingguru.com. Thanks for listening, and remember, your business doesn't have to run you into the ground. With the right systems, it can run without you. Until next time, happy automating.